We're at 1 minute. The 1 minute period has started. Nobody else can cross the starting line. Doesn't look like anybody's going to be in danger of that as they form up on the backstretch. Greg Hopp in the Remax on the inside, but you know, it's hard to tell who's on the inside, whether it's going to be Steve David or Greg Hopp. Now, Steve David moves a little bit to the right, and he's going to be in lane number 2. J.W. Myers has to move a little to the right. He will be in lane number 3. FormulaBoats.com is going to be Dick Lynch. It looks like he may be in lane number 5, and coming up inside of him is Jimmy King in the Master Tire. So inside out, Joe Rude, they're coming to the apex of the turn, and it is going to be the Remax and Greg Hopp in lane number 1, in lane number 2. As they come around, see who is in that lane number 2. It's going to be, oh boy, Oberto. Lane number 3 is going to be Dick Lynch, and J.W. Myers is trying to fit in. He's going to be in lane number 3. Here they come, Joe Rude to the start line.
And here comes Greg Hopp crossing first. Oberto's in second. The Master Tire's bringing up the rear. They go into the first turn, and it's Greg Hopp holding his own as he goes into the first turn. We can't see too much through the rooster tails, but going halfway around the turn 1, Greg Hopp in the Remax is still way out in front. And the rest of the boats are covered up in his rooster tail. It's really hard to tell. Elstrom's falling way behind. Steve David's at least a lap back. It looks like Hopp is still out front going into the first turn. As they come going into the second turn, he's at the apex on lap number 1 of 5 laps for this championship. Coming around the corner, Steve David is in second right behind Hopp as they come down to finish out the first of 5 laps. Here comes Greg Hopp and Steve David in second place. Elstrom's in third. Mark.
Greg Hopp in the Remax in first, about 2, 3, 4 boat lengths ahead of Steve David and the Oboy Oberto. Dick Lynch and J.W. Myers having a heck of a duel, and they are really racing hard against each other. And here comes Jimmy King in the Master Tire. You've got a great race for first and second. The Oberto is in second place, but he's only about half a rooster tail behind the Remax and Greg Hopp, and now he's closing in just a little bit. Up on the backstretch, it's J.W. Myers in the Elstrom Manufacturing. On the outside, it is Dick Lynch in the UL5FormulaBoats.com. He's driving the race of his life right now, and bringing up the rear is the Master Tire. This is lap 2 of 5 times around. Off the turn, it's Greg Hopp in the Remax, about 1/3 of a rooster tail ahead of the Oboy Oberto. End of lap 2.
And there goes Greg into the third lap. Steve David is right on his hip. In third place, here comes Elstrom. In fourth place, coming across the start-finish line, is Dick Lynch and FormulaBoats.com. And the trailer is Master Tire with Jimmy King. Greg Hopp now comes around the second turn. Goes up the Kentucky backstretch. She's still got about a half a rooster tail lead over Steve David in second place, but Steve is giving it all he's got. Third place still belongs to Elstrom. Greg Hopp goes into the second turn. This is lap number 3 of 5. Greg Hopp is showing the way. Miss Remax is coming around the apex of the second turn, heads the nose of the boat downstream. Steve David is about a half a rooster tail behind him. Hopp seems to be slowing down. Steve David is coming up.
He blew the hot section again.
Hot section. Steve David now is in first place.
Steve David and the Oboy Oberto in first place. A long, long lead over the Elstrom Manufacturing. The hot section blows on the U100 one more time, and he's got a bit of a fire on the back of the boat. Third place now will be Jimmy King in the Master Tire. The Oberto has finished 3 laps, and we are looking at Dick Lynch coming through. He's lost some power as well, but Steve David and the Oboy Oberto has a 3-4 rooster tail lead over J.W. Myers and the Elstrom Manufacturing. Then it's a long ways back, almost the entire Kentucky backstretch, to Jimmy King in the Master Tire. Apex of the turn, J.W. Myers is trying to catch Steve David, but here comes Steve David to end lap 4. This will be the white flag lap, and he has about a 2.5 rooster tail lead.
He is motoring down the front stretch. Less than a lap to go for Steve David. He's got about a rooster tail and a half behind Elstrom. Elstrom's in second place. The whole crowd is holding their breath. The folks in Madison are jumping for joy. Steve David, oh boy, Oberto, going around the first turn for the last time on lap number 5. He lengthens his lead out to almost a rooster tail and a half over the Elstrom boat. Third place is Master Tire in fourth place, and bringing up the rear is FormulaBoats.com. Half a lap to go for Steve David as he puts his foot in it and brings the Miss Madison Oh Boy Oberto around the last time in the second turn. Elstrom is pushing him a little bit hard, but it looks like Steve's going to pull this off. Another miracle for the Madison. And isn't that appropriate with the Madison movie coming out? Here comes Steve David down to the start-finish line. He's going to take the yellow, the checkered flag, and the winner is Steve David. Number 2 is Elstrom Manufacturing, coming around the second turn in the third place. Here comes the Master Tire home boat, the Allison-powered Master Tire, with Jimmy King taking third place at this year's Thunder on the Ohio. And we have one boat yet to go. He's in the back stretch. Dick Lynch is now coming into the second turn. But the story of the day, folks, it is Steve David in Oh Boy Oberto Miss Madison winning the 2005 edition of Thunder on the Ohio. He is still the only winning driver driving this weekend, and now he's done it 2 times. Now we're bringing up fourth place. Here comes FormulaBoats.com for fourth place. And this concludes our running of the 2005 Thunder on the Ohio. What a win for Steve David. Get a lap. He's got to run another lap. Okay. I just get the information that there was a lap penalty put on
Dick Lynch,
Formula Boats, so he has to take another lap to finish in his fourth position because of that penalty.
Well, Joe Rude, that was a very, very exciting race. And, you know, the Leland team seems to be a little bit snake bit this weekend. They have lost 3 engines now.
Yeah, exactly the same way. They've blown the hot end on all 3 of those engines. It just seems to be gremlins into the engine cowling. But the real story of the race has got to be Steve David and Oh Boy Oberto.
Well, the unofficial order of finish, we'll get it official for you shortly, but unofficial, as you heard, Steve David in the Oh Boy Oberto, first place, champion of Thunder on the Ohio 2005. J.W. Myers in the Elstrom Manufacturing, second place, third place to Jimmy King in the Master Tire. Fourth place will go to Dick Lynch. As he comes around now, he will get the checkered flag, finishing an extra lap because of a lap penalty. And Steve David comes by the riverfront. He's got the canopy open. He is so excited. He is waving and waving. Give him a cheer. He can probably hear you at this point, pounding his fist as he comes by the start-finish line.
Well, folks, this may be a prelude to another miracle. We invite you to join us next week in Madison, Indiana, as Steve David takes his championship from Evansville and goes upstream to the Madison Regatta next weekend in Madison, Indiana. Most of us from the Thunder Committee are going to be there at least on Sunday for their race, and we invite you to join us in Madison, Indiana for the second stop on the ABRA Unlimited Hydroplane Series. Look at him, hands in the air. Praise to God. Here comes Steve David onto the dock. Wait till he gets his helmet off and then give him a roar like he's not heard in a long, long time.